Can I take the script?
Huh?
Can I take the script home?
Can you make a copy of it?
Didn't I already give you one?
Make a copy of it.
Let's take a picture.
Okay. So one of the things that not a lot of people think about, because everybody's kind of mindless trolls, and some people are mindless trolls, right? They're just walking through life just mindlessly. Is you have to be innovative.
Okay. Yeah.
There has to be a level of innovation in your business as an entrepreneur, no matter what it is, in order to succeed, and especially in order to blow up, right? Because if you're, I say this all the time, you don't have to reinvent the wheel to be successful, but your business has to be constantly innovating.
Right. Putting tread on the wheel. Putting tread on the wheel,
right. Because you think about it, okay, if I'm just door knocking every single day, right, that might work. Is it scalable?
No.
Not really, right? It's, kind of. Like, now today, what we have? We have online leads.
Yeah.
Right? 50 years ago, they didn't have online leads. They didn't have Realtor.com leads or Zillow leads. I couldn't just go on the internet and call for sub-buy owners every single day. I had to go outside and door knock. But now I can do both of those things. In your business, it becomes more dynamic. Innovation is important for having a dynamic range of business.
Yeah, for sure.
Think about AI. How cool is AI? We're going to plug this video right here into AI. It's going to edit the videos for us. We shoot videos like 3 times a week now because we have AI editing our videos.
Yeah, we have help.
We would have been spending hours on hours on hours. Some people are so stuck in their ways, they refuse to innovate.
Which is hurting them. And, not only, like you kind of mentioned in the past, they didn't have the online leads and things. And I'm sure you guys can agree that nowadays, tomorrow something new's already out on the App Store to make it better. Like, there's already so much innovation going up that, like, we have to keep up with that. And in real estate, I don't want to say that there's a fine line between like the new school and the old school, but you definitely see the differences in strategies with marketing, advertising, where some of the older crowd, they don't even know about half the stuff we know about, let alone implementing it. And, they're doing okay, but are they scaling still and things like that?
Yeah, are they coming up with new ideas?
Right.
New ideas is what moves humanity forward. You have to be thinking outside the box. You should be self-disciplined and do the things you're supposed to do, but you also need to be innovative in being an entrepreneur and being a business owner and being a real estate agent or a real estate broker or whatever you are. You have to do and try creative new things.
100%.
Consistently. Oh, I like this one. Resourcefulness. Yes. The ability to be resourceful is the number one, it's like one of the number one traits of every self-made millionaire, billionaire in the world. Resourcefulness, right? I might not have everything I need to be successful. Where am I going to find it? Most people don't even ask that question. They don't know that they can go to their friends or their family, or they can look for people on, dude, we have Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and all this shit nowadays. You can literally go meet somebody who's connected right this second.
For anything you need.
You can go looking around for something or somebody. How resourceful are you?
Right.
Are you willing to put yourself out there? Are you willing to ask for help? Some people are just, they're too prideful and they don't do it.
Yep. I mean, it's like one of the oldest sayings, ask and you shall
receive.
Right. So just by starting that simple conversation opens up so many more doors. Like, the resourcefulness of your rich father, he gave you an opportunity.
Rich dad.
What I said.
Rich father.
He gave you the opportunity to open up so many doors to be resourceful for yourself, your family, and community ultimately.
Yep. All right, thank you guys for tuning in on this episode of Royal Realty TV. Of course, we are here to make a difference and to help real estate agents out there in the marketplace. So we appreciate you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
The Official Devon, no spaces.
The Official Devon.
Devon with an O, Devon.
Devon. And obviously you guys know me, Ian the Broker, and Royal Realty Real Estate. That's it. Thanks, brother.
All right, thanks. It would have been nice to have a clap on that. You can add that.
Try it again.
Yeah.
Hold on, wasn't looking. Ow, bro, you're coming in too firm.
All right.
It's too firm. It hurts. Right? That was too soft. There it was. Woo!
in the frame.
He can use this. He can sound.
Beautiful. We are live.
We're live.
We're live, baby.
Like that.
Just like that.
Okay.
I've got my glasses on today. I'm looking and feeling smarter.
Yeah, I should have brought mine. I still feel smart though. It's okay. I don't need them.
Okay. So check this out here, right? I've got ourselves a little thing. So this video will go on YouTube.
Really?
So I'm gonna, we'll obviously cut it up a little bit, but I'm gonna give us an introduction first. So welcome everybody. My name is Ian Reinhardt. I am the broker and CEO of Royal Realty, and today I'm with Devon Willoughby, who's one of the top performing agents here at the brokerage. He crushes it every single day. He's the most consistent person in the office.
Thank you.
Devon, welcome to
Thank you for having me.
Royal Realty TV, and let's get into it.
All right.
So I want to talk about. We'll talk about your journey. We'll talk about my journey. So we'll start there. So share your personal and professional journeys, highlighting challenges and successes. Talk to me about your journey a little bit.
Should I go back from getting my license?
However far you want to go back, man, but make it interesting.
Okay. So we'll kind of jump to graduated. I was working at a pool as a water instructor, lifeguard, all the above, and I had a buddy whose mom was a broker over on the coast, and he did the 2-week class, the pre-license course. Said, oh, you should do it with me. I'm like, perfect. Do the course, we passed, flying colors, first people out of the test, we're feeling good, we're feeling great, awesome. Now we're on to the next step, the state test. I took a few months, took it, failed it the first 2 times, passed on the third, and I know a lot of people kind of have problems with that, and they may drop out after the first one, like, oh, I didn't pass, I gave up, just keep going. So boom, I get my license. Now the next step is go find a brokerage to work under, to hang it, to learn, and to thrive in. I did not do that. Mm-hmm. I continued my career in construction and framing. I wanted to also learn the inside of the houses and everything. Right. That way
Which is cool. That's a cool place to start.
Right. Building my knowledge in all areas mm-hmm. of real estate. Went from a helper, laborer, to pulling a trailer, having a crew, building the houses, and 2020 comes, you're opening up your brokerage. I saw the videos of you painting it, and I'm like, wow, Ian's doing it. He did it. He made it. He's there. I was one of the first people to come in, before your doors even opened, I think, and signed up with you, and I gave it a good couple weeks, and like any person, I didn't get a close from the one open house I did, right. And I'm like, let me dive back into my other job. So that's around the time everyone was going through COVID and things like that. I was an essential worker with framing, so I kept working, and then 2 years passed, and you actually hit me up, mm-hmm. said, hey man, haven't seen you around, where's that beautiful face been? So came in, we had our little one-on-one, and something that really stood out to me when we were talking, you said, hey, is real estate what you want to do? And if not, no hard feelings. I want to help you achieve anything you want to do, even if it's outside of real estate. So that really spoke on who you are, how you run this business, and that you're here to help people regardless of the outcome for you in a way. And that just kind of flipped a switch in my head, and I was like, no, you're right. So I came to your boot camp that you do for all the new hires, even though I'd been hired on. Figured come back as a new agent, kind of
newly committed.
Yeah, a restart, refresh. And from there, I just felt I was where I belonged when I was sitting in the office with you and Austin, watching the other agents walk by, closing deals, high-fiving, chest bumping, and it felt good to be here. Called my boss up, put my 2 weeks in, and went full-time real estate from there.
You've been doing pretty good since you committed.
Yeah, appreciate, I'm around a lot of good people that, one, hold me accountable and push me to do better, which is important. But, just feeling comfortable in the environment.
Absolutely. It's a cool story.
Yeah, thank you.
I like it. I'm going to put my suit on real quick before I tell mine. Underdressed over here next to you. Okay.
Do like a little bing, like now you're dressed up.
Bean, cut that out. All right.
You are recording, right?
Yeah. Oh, just
Shit, because I know.
Yep. Whew. It's recording. All right. So cool. So that's it's cool that you started out in construction. Like I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah.
I wish I started out in construction.
It's cool to lift things and grunt and yell and scream and.
Yeah. Sometimes I walk through a house. I'm like, I wish I knew what to tell you about that.
Well, the good thing is you didn't have to lose fingernails or anything like that.
True.
Smashing them. So.
True. All right. Well, I guess I'll give you my journey. So, I started pretty much right out of high school. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew that I liked mansions. I had a rich dad. If you ever read the book, Robert Kiyosaki,
Yeah.
I mean, I've told this story 100 times, but I had a rich dad. It was my dad's best friend. He had a really nice mansion. He was an entrepreneur before I even knew what that word even meant. He was telling me that that's what he was, and all I knew was that just meant you had money.
Right.
Like, I want to be that. I want to be an entrepreneur. And I always liked mansions. So right out of high school, I went to Valencia. I was on the track to go become an architect. I wanted to become an architect. And he had bought me this course as a graduation present. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I really want to be a realtor.
He bought you the real estate course?
He bought me the real estate course. I was like, I don't know if I really want to be a realtor, but okay. I mean, and one of the things he told me was, this license will open up doors for you that will otherwise not have been available. And I'm like, okay, whatever, let's try it. I waited a whole year before I actually passed it, from when I graduated to when I actually passed the exam. And I was 19 years old. From there, it took me 6 months to sell my first house, but I did it all through open houses. So I was just open house every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. That's all I did. I didn't come in during the week. I didn't do anything else.
No cold calling?
No cold calling. The first thing I did was just learn how to do open houses to a really high standard. And I did them Saturday and Sunday every weekend without failure. At one point in time, they had a competition my first year at Weicker. They had a competition for whoever did the most open houses got a billboard on like some major street in Orlando.
That's pretty nice incentive.
And so I'm like, oh, I need that billboard. I've got to have it. And I think that month I did I want to say it was like 60-something open houses.
Wow. And
somebody beat me with like 90. Like, couldn't fucking believe it.
How did you achieve that many?
I was doing 2 a day.
Wow.
I do 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And so I basically took 6 months to sell my first house. When I sold my first house, it was a double deal. She had sold a house and bought a new one. The experience was just beautiful. She was crying. She was so happy. I had written this letter to the other agent and to the seller. And they were trying to recruit me, and everybody was impressed. And I'm on top of all of that, I made a bunch of money. I made like $6,000.
Right.
At that time, it was a bunch of money. And ever since then, I've been in love. I've been addicted to it.
Yeah, that's a great outcome.
Absolutely. And then the following 6 months, after my first 6 months, I sold 14 houses within that 6 month period. And as a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid, I felt like I was rich.
Yeah,
I felt like I was
can
rich.
Imagine.
It was a snowball effect. Just everything, all that hard work I did over 6 months just picked up. It picked up from following up with people and building relationships and building my pipeline. And I obviously wanted to teach other people to do that because it's such a great feeling and it's such a great way to make money, and it's one of the best industries you can be in as far as in becoming a millionaire. They say that 95% of millionaires are made through real estate. Mm-hmm. So it couldn't be in a better industry, and I love this shit. I do it every single day. It's my life, man. I live, eat, breathe, sleep this shit. So
absolutely, and it's working. It's clearly working because you're working.
it works when you work, right? And it's not always perfect, but if you believe in it and you work really hard and you're an expert at what you do, you will succeed. So let's talk about some motivation.
Okay.
Explore what motivates both of us personally and professionally. Share stories and experiences that have been particularly motivating in your careers. Oh, okay, I can start if you'd like, as an example. Obviously, there was that story that I had when my first deal. That was great. It was really motivational. But there was another deal that I did just a couple years ago. It was actually in 2020 or 2021. I picked up a client at an open house, and she was struggling to find a house. It was during a market where there was a lot of competition, people bidding up, $50,000 over asking price, appraisal gaps, all this stuff. I had eventually got her under contract. She lost her pre-approval because she didn't pay something off, so we had to cancel the contract. It was devastating. We waited a couple months. I ended up getting her back into the game, and I found her house that she really, really, really loved. This is the one. It's in the neighborhood. It had the perfect schools. She has 4 kids, or 3 kids, and all of them are on AB honor roll. She's a single mother. And she's only a single mother because her husband is still in Africa, or was still in Africa. He was stuck there.
Wow.
And so her kids being on AB honor was just a testament to her hard work. What I did was I found her house. She loved it. We made an offer. We got beat out. We got beat out by somebody else. That was the market we were in. And devastating. She loved the house. We thought we had it. We offered a great offer. She came back to us and said we got beat. And so we walked away. We started looking at other houses. And we found another one, but she didn't like it as much. She was just settling. One day before the inspection period ended on that other house, the listing agent from the house she loved called me. The deal fell through. Does your buyer still want it?
Yeah.
I said, I'm pretty sure she does. Let's lock it in today. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. I hung up the phone. I called her. I shared the good news. She was crying immediately, head over heels. We canceled the other deal. Sorry to that agent, but we canceled that deal. We got into that one. I sold her the house. She cried at closing. Her kids were there crying at closing. We were all crying. She had brought me all these like garments from Africa, or she
cool.
made them, but they were in African style, and
Right.
I have pictures of it. It's hilarious.
You still have them?
I do.
That's
I do.
awesome.
And and her husband got a green card to come over, or a visa, whatever. And so her husband's now here because I helped this lady find a house. And not to mention I made like $12,000 off the deal, so that always helps too.
Yeah.
But doing stuff like that, like actually making a difference in somebody's life, is just an incredible feeling when you do.
And that's the motivation behind doing what you do?
It's not always like that. Sometimes the deals are, a little more simple or a little more laid out. But yeah, obviously the money's great, but when you actually really make a difference in somebody's life,
Right.
oh man, that's an incredible feeling. And to make money on top of it is even better.
So that was like what motivates you, like kind of professionally.
Yeah.
What about personally?
Personally, what motivates me personally? My family, man. That's my why. I want to take care of my family. I want to retire my mom. I want to retire my dad. I want to give my sister all the opportunities that she deserves to have a happy and successful life. And I want to take care of my friends and the people around me. Like, that's what motivates me when I wake up every day. Obviously, I want the nice stuff. I want a nice house. I want to be able to take vacations. But I also want to do it for the people around me, too. And just to prove to the world that I am who I say I am.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, so for me, motivation-wise, I definitely sympathize with wanting to retire your parents and everything. I think that's a lot of any good child's goal.
Sure.
Anyone who had good parents who raised them, and you just see the value in what they did for you, and
Right.
you want to repay that.
Yep.
But speaking more in the immediate time frame of kind of getting into something new or out of your realm, and like what the motivation is for there, for me was 2 things. And you said this before: you run towards something and you run away from something.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the running towards is the beautiful picture of retiring our parents and everything, and that's always there, running towards that. The other thing I was running away from was I just quit my job, and I don't have anything coming in.
You burned the boats.
Yeah, so I burned the boats. I ran away from the shoreline and just
Yeah.
ran into the jungle on the island. And
Right.
for me, that motivation is a little more, I don't want to say aggressive, but it's a little maybe force and whatnot.
That's important though.
Right.
So what does that boil down to? It boils down to your belief in yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
You know in your heart that if you burned all the excuses, if you got rid of all the excuses, that you can do it.
Yeah, there's no going back. There's literally no going back.
So many people do not have that belief in themselves. They doubt themselves.
Mhm.
And that's why doubt is this thing that will either make or break you.
Yeah.
And for you crushed all doubt. You never had a doubt. You just had to get rid of what you knew was distracting you.
Yeah.
And once you did that, you had all the belief in yourself in the world, and you're here doing it. You're here surviving.
Yes, sir.
You're here growing. Like, that's what it takes. That's what being an entrepreneur is.
Yeah.
It's not having doubt in yourself. It's believing in yourself and taking that chance. But you have to believe in yourself. And you do.
Absolutely. And so, for that person maybe watching this that is doubtful or scared, what do you suggest to that person who's like, oh, I don't know, like, I want to hold on to this, I don't want to let go of this, or...
Doubt is the killer of all dreams. You have to be sure of yourself. If you're not sure of yourself, you need to take some time to build your character, because
maybe step back.
You cannot be a successful entrepreneur if you do not believe in yourself, and if you do not believe in your abilities. And maybe that means you need to go back to the drawing board and you need to read some more books. You need to work on yourself physically. You need to work on yourself, on your charisma, on your sales skills, whatever that is. But there's no room for doubt in success. You have to believe in yourself. So you need to either tell yourself something different, or you need to go do something different, because there's a reason why only 1% of people are rich, right?
Right.
Because only 1% of people have the mindset to become that.
That self-talk, that inner dialogue is like really what it comes down to.
Right. Yeah, and the truth is too is like, there's one thing that is common amongst all successful people, at least self-made millionaires and successful people, is they're resilient. They do not quit. The one thing that will guarantee your failure is if you quit.
For sure. And I think a lot of people get confused when they see someone successful who's all smiling earlobe to earlobe on their yacht or whatever the case is, because they're only seeing the aftermath of all the hardship, and at the times where maybe they were doubtful but talked themselves out of it and got through that.
The only way to hedge yourself against failure is to never quit. It's the only way, because your odds are low. In a relatively short time period, your odds of becoming successful are low. But in the whole course of your life, if you never quit, how much higher are your chances? Most people will quit after 2 years, 5 years, hell, even months or even weeks. They quit. You don't plant a seed and check on it every single day to see if it grew. Right. You plant the seed, you water the seed, you have faith that the sun will provide nutrients, God, and you believe. You believe and you're persistent. That's how you have to be in your career. The other super important thing too, and a lot of people don't have this, is vision.
Yeah. By that, do you mean like a vision board? Like, can it be as simple as that, or do you think it's deeper than that?
There's so many different ways you can build a vision, but you have to be able to see it in your mind. However you can do that. Maybe it starts with a vision board, but like just this week, that's one of the things we did was we went over your 1-year vision, your 5-year vision, your 10-year vision, because sometimes in work we lack passion for the mundane tasks that we do. Like did you want to call a for sale by owner just a few minutes ago?
No,
but you did it anyways.
But thankfully I had a great company to push me to do it. Yeah,
you did it anyways. Why is that? You're not passionate about calling for sale by owners, but why did you call them?
Yeah, because I'm passionate to get to my goals.
You're passionate about your vision, man, and your vision requires you to do the fucking work.
Yeah. There's no way around it.
You have to do the work, dude. No, you're not. There's no magical successful key that's hidden that all the rich and successful people know. It's like, no, the fucking secret is doing the shit that people don't want to do.
Putting your head
every
down.
Single day. And why do you do it? That's what's the most important thing. That's called your vision.
Yeah. So to touch on that a little bit. That was the first time that I've really I've thought about the 1 year kind of like vaguely, I would say, and not to say I'm just kind of stumbling towards my goals, but that was the first time where I sat down with someone or myself, whatever, went the 1 year, the 5 year, the 10 year, and the way you had us close our eyes and you kind of read it back to us and like you helped be the artist to illustrate that for us. Like there was something magical like that happened in that seat where like almost like the goosebumps, like you feel like light is like radiating from inside, and it's like, oh, okay, so like if you could just keep that vision playing day in and day out, that will keep the passion alive.
Passion, baby. That's why I got it tattooed right here, because that's what life's about. It's about suffering for the things you love, the things you want, the person you are. I also think that it's important to have gratitude and to celebrate. A lot of people, they'll experience a small win and they'll go way over the top and celebrate more than they're supposed to. And some people will have these huge wins and not celebrate at all. I think you have to celebrate a little bit.
Right.
You have to celebrate the wins. When you close a deal, take a little bit of money aside and go spend it. Like, yes, you should save it, you should invest it, you should be planning out every dollar, put away some money for taxes, but take some money, take the family out and go fucking celebrate, because if you don't do that, that's going to help bring passion into it. Why do you do what you do? Because it feeds a happy and successful life for you.
You want to reward yourself and those around you.
Yeah,
for sure.
And obviously, you want to thank God for everything you have every day. It's important that you thank God and you ask for things that you want out of life. That's part of the vision. When you ask for what you want, you have to, first of all, you have to know what you want to ask for it. So that's why we did that. That what the fuck do you call it?
Success Summit.
That I'm drawing a blank on the word here. That project.
Oh.
That
Yeah, I got you.
experiment.
Yep.
That exercise.
Exercise.
Fuck. I'm getting old, man. No, it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Right.
That's what's happening. Any of these words you want to talk about?
I did want to just touch on the gratitude for anyone listening who doesn't really comprehend that or hasn't had a relationship with gratitude. Because for some people, just the way they're brought up or their environment, they don't really know what they don't know, and to know to be thankful for things. And an exercise that you can do, aside from the one we did to paint the vision, is every morning write down 3 things. And the trick to that is to not just write down the same 3 things, because I've done this before I kind of was instructed to do otherwise, is I'm thankful I woke up, I'm thankful for my friends, I'm thankful for my family. It's usually like the same 3 core things. But by writing something completely different every morning, that 3 different things, I believe the number is after day 21, your brain's starting to be rewired to where now you're looking for opportunity and gratitude and things to be thankful for, and you're no longer having that doubt in your mind because, oh, this is that or whatever. All you're focused on is gratitude.
Yeah.
So just a fun little exercise.
It's like the new car.
Yeah, I've heard it called the yellow car, but there's one going around calling it the red car theory.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
Explain that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the yellow car. The yellow car theory says that when you're driving around and you think yellow car, all you start to see is yellow cars. But for most of us, when we're driving around, you probably can't remember the last time you saw a yellow car because you weren't looking for it, you weren't thinking about it. So gratitude, just have it at the top of your mind.
Right. Yeah, you'll see what you're looking for.
Yeah.
In life. Speaking of writing things down, one of these quotes that I heard yesterday, actually, this quote that I heard yesterday was, a problem written down and clearly defined is halfway solved.
Okay.
A lot of us have problems in our business or in our life that we're trying to solve, right? Because that's how your value is determined, is what kind of problems can you solve. Do you solve small problems or do you solve big problems? The bigger the problems you solve, the more money you are, the more money you're worth. But we all have problems, and the fastest way to solve it, or at least the fastest way to get started solving it, is to clearly define the problem and write it down, and it's halfway solved.
Yeah.
Because many people won't even do that. They'll think of a problem, oh, it's this problem, and it's just there in the back of their mind all the time.
And then the next problem comes in the frame, and you forget about this problem.
And they've got all these problems, right? And then no solutions. And that's super important. Writing things down. It's just part of visualizing things. Visualizing things is so important. And it's being an entrepreneur and somebody who is not a mindless robot who shows up to work every day and does the same thing and works in a factory line or just does what they're supposed, does what they're told every day and makes the burgers and whatever. Like, you have to be a problem solver, and you have to have a vision, and you have to see things clearly.
Let's see.
We got resilience, persistence, passion, vision, determination, adaptability, empowerment. Give me 10 more. Watch this.
Oh.
Give me 10 more.
To touch on that.
Ambition, optimism. Ooh, optimism is important.
Yeah.
Mentorship, innovation.
Let's let's hit on the self-discipline.
Okay.
You know, so we kind of talked about the motivation aspect of things, like what's your vision, what's motivating you, are you running?
Keep going. Just make sure we're still recording. We are.
About the motivation where, you know, are you running towards something, away from something, your vision? But really, all of that's good. You do need to have that in order. You need to have a system for that. But the self-discipline is, to me, by far the most important thing. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, maybe you've seen a diagram where it's like it shows images of like things half full, this and that. And it's basically saying that motivation can run out. Not every day are you going to be motivated. We're all human. We all have external things that happen that are out of our control. We do our best not to let it get to us, but sometimes like things just may bring you down or may distract you and things like that. Discipline, which is the consistency part of you're doing your mundane tasks that you aren't motivated to do, but you're disciplined enough to go, hey, day in, day out, I'm going to do this. And maybe not a month from now, maybe not 6 months from now, 6 years from now, depending on how big your goal is where you're going to see that return on discipline.
Yeah, a good example of that would be like for real estate agents, because they're probably the ones watching this video, like just something relative to us, calling for sale by owners.
Right.
You don't have to call 1,000 in one day. What if you made it a thing that every single day, 365 days a year, you call one for sale by owner. Yeah. One for sale by owner. You will have talked to 365 for sale by owners in 1 year.
Right.
Most people don't talk to that. They'll sit there, they'll call 50 a day for a week.
And then check out.
And then they'll check out. I'm not 50 a day. They'll call 10 a day for a week or 15 a day for a week or whatever, right? And then they check out and they're done. And they never call another for sale by owner again because for sale by owners don't work, whatever the lie is, right? Yeah. But then think about that again from 10 years from now. You'll have talked to 3,650 for sale by owners over the course of a decade. Mm. How many relationships will you have built? That's the power of self-discipline. When you look at it on a micro versus a macro, self-discipline will do more for you over time. More for you over time. Motivation's great. Motivation will do more for you in a short period of time. You should use motivation, but self-discipline is what makes you successful over the period of your life.
I like how you kind of pinpointed the motivation is like good for like the immediate, the now kind of jump start and everything.
And I watch motivational videos every single morning.
Yeah.
I need motivation. I love being motivated. You know, it's part of who I am.
Who is it? Eric Thompson?
Eric Thomas, yeah.
Thomas.
Thomas.
You gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe, right?
That's right. That's right. You gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. Something important too. Not a lot of people think about this. And I'm gonna stop and then we're starting. Let me cut this now.